Hey traders, David Frost, My Strategic Forecast. You're here for another episode of Common Sense Market Analysis. Today is Monday, November 25, 2024. We're looking at a daily chart of the SPY or Spider, which is the proxy for the S&P 500. What do we have on the docket today? Well, the first thing that jumps off the page at you happens to be the upsloping trend line that happened to be high of day today. We were discussing it inside the numbers at 9 a.m. this morning. It was an important trend line, and it was inside the numbers and in the live room a short trade for some traders who were comfortable taking a short trade around the highs. They saw the trend line. They read about the trend line. In the live room, we discussed the trend line. I said to traders, it's trader's choice. This is where we are. Closing above the trend line will tack on another leg higher. So what do we do with all this information from an intraday perspective translated to a daily chart? And how do we analyze this in a big picture format? Well, it's very simple. We have a former high. The former high is 600.17. She spiked it. She came back below it. Here's what it looks like from an intraday perspective. Spiked it, went up to the trend line, spiked that, and reversed back down for the day. However, the 600.17 happens to be the most recent breakout area. Just because she didn't stay above today, spiked it today, ran a test of it, got back below. Just because she didn't stay above today doesn't mean it won't happen. Won't happen tomorrow, later in the week, next week. We don't know yet. However, there's always a, but wait, there's more. What's the number that they get below and we stop looking up and we start saying, uh-oh, they may be on a down leg, may in italics, maybe. What's that first number that would be a warning signal, a flare up in the air? I got her at 593.65. Above 593.65, she's eating time off the clock in an uptrend. Trend is your friend, above all the moving averages, all that stuff. Below 593.65, still, the uptrend is intact, no doubt about it. However, that's an area that can produce some sellers coming out of the woodworks on a daily close below that number. I would write it down, put it on a sticky note, 593.65. It could be a sell signal. We're not going to issue it an Irene just yet. And for those of you that don't know what Irene means, Irene is a number that it becomes a good night Irene if she gets below. Good night Irene, Mrs. Market, see you later, bye type of number. That's not what this is. This is a number that could certainly open the door right down to the 20-period moving average or lower in short order. By the way, just taking a detour right over to the lazy swing trader automagical algo system, was long AMAT, took profits in AMAT around 5%, turning it into a risk-free, emotionless trade. You see the entry down there at 168.18. Here's another one. Profit taken last Friday in Illumina. Entry 131.15. Currently, as I make this video, right around 144, give or take. How you doing? Lazy swing trader, automagical algo system. Little housekeeping item for this week. This is Thanksgiving week. Here's the schedule this week. We're taking a vacation day or two. This is the time of the year that people in the financial, investment, trading business take some days off here and there towards the end of the year. Thanksgiving is one of those times. The live room will be open Tuesday. It will be closed Wednesday. Thursday, the market's closed for Thanksgiving in the U.S. anyway. And Friday will be closed, which is a nothing burger day. Generally speaking, we're taking some time off. However, we will have a live room session on Tuesday, and Inside the Numbers will be open on Tuesday, but we are taking some vacation Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. We will resume regular business the following Monday. Another benefit for live room traders. Sometimes Jordan moderates the live room. He has a different knowledge base, a different skill set than I do. He's very well versed in options, including has a lot of statistical data, statistical analysis. He gave the traders in the live room a lock, stock, and barrel trade that works out about 80% of the time. Some traders had options over the weekend. They got a huge pop this morning and made thousands and thousands of dollars on Jordan's statistical analysis. How about an added benefit of being a live room member when I'm out, having Jordan as the substitute analyst giving you a whopper of a trade? How good is that? In the trading business, we call that a pinch hit grand salami. How about a shout out to Jordan? Thank you very much. On behalf of all the traders that made bank early in the morning today on the gap higher open. Back to these spiders, we're going to do some intraday inside the number analysis. First trade of the day for traders that wanted it was right up there. Short, scalp with potential. They gave you nice potential. Okay, that was trade number one. You can see the 0 dark 30 commentary, 598.45 today, comes in as our bull pivot today, representing the gateway to run a test of the all-time highs. ATH all-time highs, 598.45. On the button, bounce back in the other direction. High in the next candle is 599.29, representing the base hit, the scalp, without the potential at that stage, but the scalp. Base hits put us in the Hall of Fame. That was trade number two. After a profit, we don't let the rest go bad on us. But wait, there's more. See here, we've got a 577.55. And these are repeated later in the morning session, also before the opening bell. Same numbers, 598.45, 597.55. This is at 9 a.m. before the opening bell. 597.55. Look at the bounce off that number. The high just a few candles later happens to be 599.26. That represents $1.71 in the spiders, or 17 S&P handles, or ES handles. 17 points. What was the dead low? 597.55. We'll issue that. Funny how that works. Think that number was important? You betcha. Pause the video. Read the notes. Go back to the chart to double check the work. Those were your 3 trades. In the trading parlance today, we call that a trifecta in the SPY on a Monday morning. Monday morning trifecta. By the way, 11:30 post, the gap is around 595.50. If down there, capital I, capital if down there. And at 11:30, they were nowhere near there. The long scalp would be more like 595, give or take. Low of day, 595.20. That is the give or take. How you doing? How'd we do today inside the numbers? Post a comment under the video if you made any money today in the live room or inside the numbers. Help a brother out. I'm not the brother. The brother are the people. It's brothers and sisters. They're the people looking for answers, looking for help with the market. Is this a place you can find value? Is this a place somebody can find help learning how the market actually works? Let us know that under the video, please. We provide support and resistance numbers on about a dozen markets, including Bitcoin, gold, crude oil, small caps, Russell 2000, QQQ, TLT, spiders. By the way, the spiders numbers were right here. Resistance 1, resistance 2, resistance 3. However, when the market gaps higher in the morning, since I did these numbers the day before, they're still important numbers. We just translate that to if price is above their support, if price is below their resistance. Once again, how you doing? Now, what's going on over in Camp IWM? And what does that 244.46 represent? That represents the former all-time high. She spiked it today, closed below it, but yet that's not like a death sentence or anything. It's just, here's the test. It happened today. She spiked the high, pulled away from it, but this is hardly a rejection just yet. But we will note, she is extended away from home base. Here's home base, the 20-period moving average, and price is extended away from home base. A new high, extended from home base, coming into an on-time type of situation. Is she going to get much, much farther on the upside before A, either a pullback, or B, eating time off the clock, going sideways, allowing home base a chance to creep up to price, working off some of the, air quotes, immeasurable overbought condition? The trend is your friend until it's over. We'll see what happens by the end of November, but we may in italics, may have an on-time type of situation in an exhaustion candle with market symmetry on our hands. If you don't know what any of that stuff is, that was discussed A, in the class Lazy E-mini Trader, and B, in the MSF new masterclass where session number 1 was this past weekend. Again, how you doing? The IWM is my favorite market leading indicator, up 1.5% today. Plenty of relative strength against the SPY that was up about 1/3%. But wait, there's more. My second favorite market leading indicator, a number one canary in the coal mine, was up over 2% today. At the end of the day, 387.5 points. Team Transports. The trend is your friend. The trend is getting stronger as taught this past weekend, but yet think logically. This is common sense market analysis. Think fear and greed. The market is based on fear and greed. Could also make a pretty good argument that can be translated into pleasure and pain, but we will use fear and greed when the market. That is not a time to hop on the greed train. That is the time to begin at least having your antenna up to look the other way. One of the greatest long-term investors of all time, Mr. Warren Buffett, has, this is not a today, tomorrow, next Monday discussion point. This big picture, write that down, put it on a sticky note. What about the Q people? What's going on over there? They were up a little bit today, 80 cents, less than 0.2%. But here's the situation. Yes, it's an uptrend above all the moving averages. But no, they're not at a new high, not confirming some other stuff that we've already seen. I think that's food for thought, and I think that's married in concept to smash mouth, which is the same situation that we've been going over each and every night, which we'll get to in a moment. Here in the Q thing, they filled a gap and closed below the gap. Yeah, they're in an uptrend above all the moving averages. We'll give them the uptrend situation, but not confirming a breakout situation just yet. It's a hold your horses situation. What about the XLF? Anything wrong with the financial space as a whole? And the answer is no. That's the short and the long answer. The market is in an uptrend. It was up today. They finished up about 0.6% at a new high. We have nothing new to report in the financial space other than there's nothing wrong with the financial space. So the overall, or underlying, I should say, structure of the market remains very strong as long as the financial structure remains sound. Write that down, put it on a sticky note. Now here's what we were talking about before with Smashmouth, the SMH, Philadelphia semiconductor space. So they're down today 0.4%. we can make a pretty good argument you got a bearish wedge situation running here underneath the moving averages. That's bearish in and of itself. We have the same situation we've been talking about for weeks. This big time down day, $14 down day, said it on that day, at that night, in the video on that day. October 15th, that's going to be a problem until or unless they close above it. They gave it the old college try over here, got summarily rejected, now putting in a bearish flaggish situation. Other markets are at highs. This is melting away. I trust the semi-indicator, which is a great indicator of the tech space. And without the tech space confirming, how are the S&P and the Dow going to continue on their own? Long term, they're not. So I'm using this as a proxy situation until proven otherwise. No change in the semi-space issue we've been talking about since the middle of October. Have I told you how much I appreciate each and every one of you? Without you, these videos, they're not possible. That is true and accurate information. We're pulling the ripcord here today. I'm David Frost, My Strategic Forecast. Thanks again for tuning in to another episode of Common Sense Market Analysis.